Welcome to Don't Chuck It Up, the podcast where we help students and families navigate the wild journey of the college search and applying to colleges without breaking a sweat. I'm your host, Chuck, and today we are talking about how parents need to prepare to help their kid go off to college. And I am really thankful to have one of my favorite people on as another guest again. We have Maya Andersen with us from the Student Empowered. Hello, Maya. How are you doing today?
It's my favorite kind of weather, so we're good.
Really?
It's a little chilly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little chilly in the morning. It's going to warm up midday, get a little chilly at night. It's my favorite kind of weather.
It's the struggle with living in the Midwest, though, is that you need to have 3 outfits for every day because you never know what is going to happen.
You just layer.
Yes, or throw something in the car. Maya has been on our show before, but we wanted to chat with all of you because it is July and parents and students are getting ready to head off to college this fall, and there are some things that parents need to be thinking about as they get ready to send their kid off to college in the fall. So hopefully the tree that they're cutting down next door does not interrupt this broadcast, but we'll give it a try. All right. I'm glad it's coming down, but hopefully not onto my house. All righty.
Right? Oh my gosh.
So let's dive into this. So a lot of my content is really trying to help, students a lot of my content is really to help parents get their student ready for college, but we don't talk about how to get the parents ready for them to be sending their kid off to college. And this is really particular for parents who are sending their kids off to college this coming fall. So I wanted to bring Maya in so we can talk about some of the things that really need to happen to make sure that you, as the parent, are ready to send your kid off to college. So let's dive right into this, Maya. What are you thinking is the first thing that parents need to keep in mind?
Well, before we dive right in, I'm going to quickly say that I am working with my most difficult client, and that's my own child.
Yes.
Yeah, my most difficult client. So,
you're in a unique situation this year because not only are you coaching other families on this, but you are living this on the daily.
And, I will say that it is a constant battle over knowing what I know best as a professional, but also still trying to parent this sweet boy, and not send him to college very early because I'm ready for him to leave in the process. So, yes, Chuck, this is one of those very unique situations because all of the things that I know as a professional, I'm really being tested on.
Yep.
Like this is the test. I thought I had studied and prepared really well. I was wrong. So, let's launch right into this. Go.
So I think one thing that parents need to really keep in mind is that, yes, your kid is going off to college and you're trying to help them become an independent person, right? That's one of the primary goals of a kid going off to a college or university is to help them become their own independent self. But that doesn't mean that parents need to take their foot off the gas entirely just yet. So parents really do need to stay engaged with this process. So what are some ways that you recommend that parents stay engaged and not totally just say, yep, all right, kid, go figure this out and I'll see you on move-in day?
So one of the things that I am really living, and I know, but now I'm really doing every day is helping your child through the overwhelm. So they are wanting to live their last best summer. They're doing goodbyes. They're doing they're doing the mental navigation and the physical navigation of the transition. And you as a parent are also doing the same thing. And it is easy to default to, well, the institution should be providing my child very clear guidance and very clear leadership so that they have everything taken care of. The truth of the matter is this: it doesn't matter how clear the information or how clear the leadership is. If the student is in that state of overwhelm, or also is still defaulting to the high school behavior of my parents will get alerted if something isn't right.
Yes.
These things are not
Yes.
happening. And so the institution expects that you're checking your email. You're checking your email daily, every other day. You're logging into your portals. You're looking for updates. You're looking for messages. All of those things are expected. As a parent, that might be part of your normal daily activity as well. And so you just make the bold assumption and very reasonable assumption
Yep.
that, well, my kid is doing the same thing. Let's be honest. How your teen is checking their email is they are logging on. They're looking at the inbox. If nothing entices them, if nothing catches their eye, they are closing and walking away. They are not opening the email to see the content, read it carefully, and determine if there is a task to be done, or if there's information, or if there's any of those things. I would say it's almost helpful for you to know what the institution's to-do list is for the student so that you are checking as you're progressing. It's you're not doing it, but you are providing very good leadership for your student.
Right. So hopefully, getting back to this, the staying engaged and checking the email part is that a lot of students believe that the parents are getting the exact same emails that they are,
Yes.
and that, oh, well, if I don't read that, mom or dad will, and we'll be all good. And parents, I'm telling you right now, the colleges, for most kids, they are now going to be either at 18 or close to being 18, and the colleges are starting to treat them like adults in the email. So the messages are going to the student, and the parent may not be notified of the same message. Some really great student-centered colleges are telling parents, "Hey, parents, we're sending your kid this message. Make sure you ask them about it." But I will tell you, out of the nearly 3,000 institutions, that is a small percentage of colleges that do that much of a hands-on work. So parents, you need to make sure that they are reading their email, and one great way is to say, "Hey, did you get any emails from your college? What did they say? Are there things that we need to do? Are there things that you need to do? So can you kind of recap the email that you got for me?" And you've got to get your kid in the habit of checking email. When students head off to college, this is one of the big whoopses that they have, is that they don't read those emails and they're like, "Oh, I was supposed to meet with my academic advisor," or, "Oh, I was supposed to go to this hall meeting," or whatever, because they're really just not used to reading email because they're so used to parents getting the same message and then mom or dad saying something at home like, "Hey, I got an email from the school saying blah, 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 blah." That's not going to happen in college. The messaging to parents is going to start getting less and less, and the emails to students are going to start getting more and more.
Something we've done in our house is I have sat down and explained to our boy, like, here's how you can build an inbox so that it can stay organized. Unsubscribe to these things. Like,
Right.
sit down and go through the email with your student, because when you are first enrolling, the campus is blasting you with hundreds of emails, and
Yes.
usually 70% of them are irrelevant to that specific student because they're just blasting to the broader audience.
Right.
Sit down with your student and help them understand how to organize an inbox, because they're not proficient in that. They're not proficient in electronic correspondence as communication.
Yep.
And so it's okay. Like, explain to them, like, if you read it and it's done, delete it. Help
Mhm.
walk them through good electronic correspondence behavior.
And in addition to that, most colleges, if not all of them, have some type of portal that the student needs to be logging into. Again, this is something that usually in high school would be shared with the parent, where the parent has a parent login version of it and the student has theirs. For many colleges, this is based on the student logging in, thanks to things called FERPA. So you really need to make sure that your student is logging into the portal, because notifications are also sent through the portals. And an email may say, "Hey, go check your student portal." And if they're not reading the email, they're not going to know to go check the student portal. So I recommend that
Yes.
students check both their email and their portals once or twice a week, if not more than that, depending upon the type of situation you're in. But yeah, so what's been your experience with the portal for your kid heading off to college this fall?
Oh, well, first of all, I was wrong. That's been my experience. That's the first and foremost. So parents out there, it's okay. You're going to hear that you are wrong or uninformed or that sort of thing. This is that funny space where your child is they're stretching their independence. They're stretching their autonomy. They are for the first time understanding that now no there is no second party that's privy to what's going on.
Right.
And so it gives them a little bit of that, well, I'm just going to go do my own thing. That's okay. You want them to get to that point. They start with training wheels, start with training wheels. And so something that I did because I understand portals because of my time on campuses and I get the complexity of them. I actually sat down with our son and walked him through the portals and said, like, this portal does this portal does that, and explained the differences. Something that a lot of people may not realize is that most institutions use Canvas. Canvas has a calendar. Connect the calendars. Then there's also going to be the other side, which is going to have campus information and so many other pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Walk your student through it and explain to them what each piece means, even if you are not familiar with it, because most working adults are spending time with CRMs or something of that nature. It's fairly translatable. So
Right.
walk through it and explain what each piece is. Something we do, because we are an Apple household, we screen mirror the laptop onto the TV and then walk through it together. Um, does it feel sometimes like you're like the teacher leading the class? Yes. But honestly, that's a familiar thing for them.
Well, and I think what's hard though is that for you and I, Maya, we work with college students so much that we've seen these portals. Many of these
Yeah.
parents who are sending their kid off to college may have never seen one of these portals. So I encourage, have it be a learn and share moment for the two of you to sit down, parents and kid or all of the family at one, and try clicking on things. You're not going to break
Yes.
it. You're
You are
not
not going
going
to
to,
break it. It's going to feel broken, but you haven't broke
yeah. Yeah, and you're not gonna, like, automatically unenroll your kid from college
it.
or delete their meal plan, and most things that are done within that portal can be reversed. So if you end
Yes.
up clicking on the wrong thing, you went, "Oh, I didn't mean to unclick that." Well, first click it back if you can, and if it doesn't, you're gonna need to send an email to somebody to say, "Hey, I think I unclicked the wrong thing." But really good to know those portals, and all the different functions they have. I think the other thing that you can help for preparing your kid in this technology area is if the college campus has any apps that they recommend that you download. So whether that's a security and safety app or a calendar app or an event app or the wellness and recreation, the counseling center might have its own app that they use. So check, and that's usually referenced in either the parent emails that are sent out or in the student emails that are sent out, talking about resources and apps that are available for students to download and have on their phone. Help them make a folder on their phone of those apps that are college related so they don't get mixed up with all of their other interesting apps on their phone. So get them all collected into one area, preferably right on their home screen of their phone so they are easy to access.
Yes, absolutely. And also, while you're doing that, look and see if there's parent apps because there might
Yes.
be. And this is your time to do that. This is where you are doing this side by side with your student. And it may feel unfamiliar because you haven't ever done side by side with your student on these types of things. It's okay that it's unfamiliar. Talk about it.
Mhm.
Like you can say, um, you know, when I was a college student, we didn't have this. This is unfamiliar to me. If it feels new, scary, any of those things, I get it because it's the same for me. It's the same thing for me. This also is where I'm going to throw out um, designate, like we have committed one day of the week that's college day. That evening, it is college evening. I try to, if you will, check all the boxes, do all the things. For us in our house, it's Monday mornings. I have a time blocked off on my calendar. We sit down and we do those things. By actually doing the things during that time, it frees up the rest of your time to not be totally centered around college.
Yes.
Because as exciting as it is for everybody, your student needs to not talk about it a little
Yes.
bit. Like, I'll be honest, I fell into the trap, and it was just simply because because my work, I really was blurring the line with my
Right.
work and my household. And our boy called me out on it. And it led to a very good conversation of, if we do the thing during that time we have committed to do the thing, then we won't make this part of everyday conversation.
Right.
Let's get on the same page, commit to, for our house, it's 9 to 11 every Monday. 9 to 11 every Monday, we're doing the thing, we're checking the boxes, and we're moving on. And it has made it easier for me to manage it. And it also has made it easier for our son to know, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. I
And
I
you're not. Yeah.
I was gonna say I absolutely love this idea, dedicating a time or a day to really hash some of these things out, so you're not every day going, "Oh, don't forget to do this. Oh, have you done this? Oh, did you do?" And one way that my parents, and my parents were old school, but one way that my parents helped with this is that we had one of those big yellow legal pads that are, way bigger than a normal sized notepad. And my father literally took a Sharpie and drew a line right down the middle. And he put on the top us and you. So this is the stuff that we as parents need to work on. And this is you, meaning me, things that we had to work on. And then when we met, and ours was Sunday dinner, when we met, my father had that pad and he, dropped it on the table. All
Um,
right, here's the things that we need to get done. And my father did not graduate from college. He did some technical school, so he had taken some coursework, but he had not done a full degree program. So he had a lot of questions because this was completely unique, unusual territory for him. So he was writing things down. There was vocabulary and things, and thankfully, I was well versed in this already. And my mother had gone to college, and my mother was also actively a volunteer with her alma mater. So we helped my father understand, okay, this is why they're asking this, and like, because he was saying like, why do I have to send them our health insurance information? What do I have to do for the car? What do I have to do for all of these other things? And what do we need to plan for? And so make a list. Don't, please, please, please don't do a list that's on like a whiteboard in a wall that people walk by on a regular basis, because that's going to give your kids stress by seeing that
yes.
list on the whiteboard
Yes.
on the wall. I would
Yes.
recommend doing it on a pad of paper so it can sit in a drawer or sit on a table somewhere that, you have to physically look at it to engage in it, rather than, oh, I'm walking to the bathroom and, oh, there's all the to-do list of things I have
There's
to go to
the
college.
to-do list. We've been using the Notes app, and we have
Sure.
been doing a to get and to pack, or a to do and to pack.
Hmm.
So the packing list that's just hanging out. The packing list items are just being added
Yep.
to. The to do list is what we are all working on collectively. And then we're also using the reminders app and assigning each other specific tasks. And so, like you said, this is just within our household. This
Right.
is not, and also, it isn't something, it eliminates that did you do, because
Right.
we're creating timelines, we're creating the deadlines. And if it gets done, it gets done. And if it doesn't get done, then the conversation occurs. But it once again takes that every day is about college, it removes that piece.
So I love all of that, and connected to that, there are some to-dos that parents need to do that really don't involve your kid as much. And these are things that a lot of parents forget to talk about, is check with your healthcare, your dental care, your insurance to see, is your kid listed on it correctly for going to college, especially if they are leaving the state. So make sure
Yes.
that all of the things, if they're leaving the state, are fine. Check with any doctor's appointments or things that need to get updated. for your child. How do they get prescriptions? I really can't stress enough. It's a low investment, but talk to your insurance agent about getting renter's insurance for your kid. Now,
Yes.
a lot of parents assume that because the kid is going to be living in the residence hall, that their stuff is covered under the university insurance policy. And that simply is not true for the vast
No,
majority of places.
no.
So if a pipe were to burst or if someone burns a pizza or popcorn in the residence hall and your kid's stuff is damaged, and let's be real, they're bringing a lot of electronics off to college and those
Yes.
aren't cheap to replace.
No.
Go get the peace of mind and get what's called renter's insurance specifically for whether they're living in the dorm and absolutely if they are living off campus. If you have your child living off campus,
Absolutely. If they,
oh my
yes.
gosh, the horror
That's
stories
a
that
whole,
I have.
we will do a whole nother podcast about the off-campus living piece. 100%. And I don't know about you, but I might share a few stories from my off campus, people I know. Um,
I was
yes.
very blessed that I lived on campus for my entire undergrad, but I can share stories, my horror stories of when I was in graduate school and living off campus because that was a whole nother adventure as well. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, so parents check to make sure. The other thing that parents can do is start helping to plan the travel. So every college in the country has already published their academic calendar for this next year. And what you could do is start looking at travel dates and travel requirements. So, do you need a hotel room if you're coming to visit your kid? Keep in mind, there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of other parents also going to the college to
Doing
visit,
the same thing.
doing the same thing. So make sure you get some of that hotel stuff knocked out of the way early on. Same thing with flights. You can start talking with your student about, when would they like to come home? And that's a great conversation to talk about if they need to fly, take a train, drive, how is travel to and from the college going to happen? And you can kind of mark it off for the whole year, at least penciling it in so you know what's going to happen. And you can start searching for good ticket deals, whether that be on your favorite airline or taking Amtrak.
Any of those things. Yes, absolutely. You can even set up alerts. Um, but yes, all of this is that funny juxtaposition of where you have to remain present while as the parent it's important to remain present for your student, but at the same time you are very much forward thinking in days, weeks, months ahead. And when you're doing that, filter your conversation, because sometimes it can be, because honestly, these babies, they're not thinking months out. They're not.
No.
They're not. And if they are potentially defaulting to like somebody's going to take care of it.
Yes.
Have those conversations. I know for us, like something our boy wants to do is he wants to come home and see a friend who's playing college football in state, wants to go to a game. We'll have that conversation and also have the conversation to the effect of, yes, coming home is great and all of that is great, but I'm going to ask where you're at academically before you make a trip home. Because let's be honest, if they come home for the weekend, they're not going to be studying, not in that first semester. They want to see friends. They want to do the things that are comforting and familiar because there is so much new, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar happening.
Or they'll just want to sleep. That also happens too.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah. I just
If
want my space. I just want my
yeah,
things that smell like me only.
if you think your child sleeps a lot during high school, wait until they come home from their first college break.
Yes.
They will hibernate. Uh,
Yeah.
so there's lots to do. I know that we've shared a lot of information today, and this can be very stressful. That's why I always recommend for students and parents especially parents who are listening, reach out to those of us who are educational professionals. People like Maya and myself can help you think through some of these things. Go find the various areas where other parents from the same college are talking. So there might be a Facebook group, there might be a Reddit, there might be something else that's online or a Substack that's being put out by other parents or by the college itself. Get yourself connected so that you aren't having to stress out about some of these things. Get a place to vent about these things, either with your own personal friends or online.
No, it is. And honestly, get to know your kid's campus. Spend some time on that campus's website, and the search button is great. Also, if you don't find it, AI will help you. AI will help you in all seriousness. Like, it'll help you. Ask AI, ask them, where is a thing on this campus? Does my child's campus do this? Um, Ask the questions. And in all seriousness, everybody on college campuses right now is prepared for every question. IT is prepared for crises related to IT things. Admissions is prepared for what now? Financially, all of these places are prepared for the people who are unsure, anxious, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
This is truly like, when I was on a campus, this is when you make that shift in your mind of, it's okay that everybody's panicking.
Yep.
Just embrace it. Like, you have done this as a higher ed professional repeatedly. You're not panicking. So as a parent, as family members, it's okay to call and say, like, I don't know, we don't know, we need help, this thing isn't working.
Mhm.
There are resources on your child's campus to help you with these things.
Yeah, and that's really what, why the cost of college continually goes up, because we need to pay for staff and resources to make sure that you're doing okay, so you're not
Yeah.
intruding. I would not be the parent that would call every day with a new question, like, try and stockpile some
No.
questions and
Right.
reach out. Um,
Consolidate.
yeah,
Use the internet.
yeah,
I mean,
a
the
lot of
resources abound. The
absolutely.
resources abound. Absolutely.
And a lot of the college websites now have AI search right on the website, and they'll be able to
Yes.
help you find stuff that way. So when you said, Maya, I want to go back to the point where you said, like, make sure you understand your kid's campus and get to know your kid's campus. What are some offices or resources that you think a parent should kind of have at their fingertips? So this could be possibly phone numbers or emails that maybe a parent has this stashed away for all emergency purposes. What are some places that parents should be aware of?
Um, First and foremost, the student accounts office, whether it's the billing office, the registrar, the bursar, they all have a different title. But know where your student's money lives and where the bills are generated.
Mhm,
Um, you pay everything before they go, but they can incur costs
mhm.
during the semester that they may not realize, and that it's assumed you are taken care of by your student. So understand billing, understand that part. Um, Always, I would say, get to know the hierarchy of housing on your student's campus. It's there's there's some basic consistent things across campuses everywhere, but then there's deviations. Your student may have an RA, a hall director, and then on up, it may look different. So go to the housing page, look at the staff, get to know who is there and their role, and have some phone numbers on file. It's okay to call them and say, I have this concern. Also,
Just please don't.
remind your
I would say just don't call them to say, "Hey, can you wake up my kid to go to class?" That's a no. It's
yes,
like,
or
oh,
my kid is fighting with their roommate.
yeah,
That's where you redirect your child to work with the RA. But if you understand the role of each person in the housing office, you can direct your student accordingly. So
yeah,
these are the kind of things. Yes, know what academic advising is, but keep in mind that your student doesn't understand the role of their academic advisor. So find out what it is and then talk to your student about it. Your student potentially has success coaching on campus. There's so many things, but I would say, really, for that first semester, billing, housing, and then student services, student life, that every campus is set up a little differently, but kind of that student support area of campus.
I would
Bookmark
add
them.
I would add a couple others to that. Know your campus security's phone numbers.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
if you're really worried about your kid, campus security can go and do a wellness check and make sure they're doing
Yes.
okay. They are operational 24/7. So no, and some colleges will have this is an emergency, so call this number, and this is a non-emergency, call this number. So have those numbers there. My mother literally had a notebook of these numbers that sat next to her phone. My mother was pre-cell phone era, so it literally was next to the house phone,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kept all these on. So campus security. The other one would be if there was a counseling services or a mental health phone number
Yes.
on the campus. Again, they
Yes.
may have a non-emergency and an emergency number that way. Um, and then this is going to sound really weird, but know the local community wherever your college is located. Find a number for the visitor center or the tourism center, because if your kid is trying to find something in town and they don't know where to go, you can obviously search for it online, but you might also call and say, hey, we're looking for a resource for a dentist. My kid had, a dental emergency. A lot of times the visitor center or the convention and visitors bureau will have those numbers, and you can reach out that way and find resources in the community that you might not be aware of. Kids are going to default to things that they know, like Starbucks, Target, Walmart, those types of things.
Yeah.
But in some cities and communities, it might be called something different. Supermarkets are named different things in different parts of the country. Other resources might be hard to find. So have a contact number for somebody in the local community that can help you discover the local community.
Also, Chuck, on that note, since you are potentially joining a parents of X university class of whatever social media page, um, join the city's social media page as well. And that is a place where you can find those kinds of local resources and that sort of thing. Um, I will tell you, don't be surprised if you say my student is going to college at XY institution in this town and needs X, Y, and Z. Don't be surprised if a parent says, I'm here, I can help you with this.
Yeah.
This is how you build a community. Honestly, like this is your opportunity to show your student how important a community is. And for them, they're building a community on campus. Sooner or later, they will need to go off campus for things. Help them build their community.
Well, Maya, it's been great chatting with you. We covered a whole lot of bases. If y'all haven't figured this out, Maya and I are a little ADD, so we kind of jumped all over, but I think we covered everything that we wanted to talk about today.
We hit high points.
It's always a blast chatting with you. Any last minute words of wisdom coming from the mom side of you going through this? Like let's give some mom heart to heart right now.
I will say that somebody told me long ago that that your child will give you all the reasons to be glad they're leaving. Um, and so it's kind of just the evolution of things so that you're not as heartbroken when they leave. Um, Lean into that quietly, lean into that with your friends. Don't lean into that with your child. Um, and it's okay to say to your kids, hey, I'm going to really miss you. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, I'm going to really miss you, but I'm really glad that you get to go do this thing. Or what I'm the most excited about is this part for you. Are you equally as excited or are you unsure? Don't forget in the thick of it all to still be your kid's parent. The stuff that mattered before they were a soon to be first year college student still matters.
Awesome. I think that's amazing info. Thank you, Maya Andersen, college success coach from thestudentempowered.com. If you would like to reach out to Maya and connect with her and see if she can help you and your student navigate the college transition process of heading off to college and being a successful college student, contact Maya at thestudentempowered.com and she'll be happy to chat with you.
Now it's just great we get to record them. So you got to be a fly on the wall. Have conversations happen. This is how it really works. This is how it really works.
How we come up with these podcasts is Maya and I have shall we say, a much more colorful conversation offline. And then we kind of go, maybe we should record this and share this in a little bit more PC, PG manner with my followers and friends. So thanks for everyone tagging along for this conversation, and hopefully this was helpful for you parents to get you empowered to support your kid heading off to college this fall.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chuck, so much.
No problem. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today, but fear not, we will be back next week with more tips and tricks to help you conquer the college application process like a boss. Until then, remember, don't chuck it up.